my friends, this week we did a quick way drawing that we didn't turn in. We just did this for practice, and we did it because we find a lot of different ways to apply fire. It's come up in a number of different projects. So we talked a little bit about fire this week and how to make it look real and how to draw it. There are two different things that make fire look real. Number one is the line. So having these curved lines and these little bits that kind of fly off at the ashes. And number two is the color, having these layers of color. Now, we drew a campfire and we added some logs to it, we added some rocks, and we made it look like a campfire. But this same idea of the fire can be applied to all different kinds of drawings. It can be used for rocket ships. It could be used for a car to show the fire coming out of a tailpipe. It can be used if you're drawing a building with a fireman and a fire truck. It can be used for all different things. So we're going to go ahead and draw our campfire. To get started, we are going to start from the inside here and work our way out. So we're going to start with the yellow layer with our pencil, and we're just going to draw a little smile line right in the middle of our page. And then we know that when we look at a campfire or a bonfire, those flames kind of dance up and they wiggle as they go. So we can make these sort of wiggle a little as they go. Give them some little curves. Now, as we do our next layers, we're going to build those out from the sides. We don't want to add more to the bottom because the fire always starts at the same point, but it builds its way up. So we're going to come out from the sides and go up a little. And again, these wiggly lines. We're going to go up again, one more layer. Coming from the side, go up one more, wiggly lines. And then we can come up from this side and that. Now to show these ashes, we can draw either little leaf shapes or we can draw these little S shapes. So it's like an S with an S attached. Okay, for the log, we're going to start in the center and work our way out. So we're going to draw a line coming straight out of the middle, and we'll draw an oval. And we'll draw that little spiral to make it look like a log, and some little wiggly lines to give it that log look. Now to get the next set of logs, we're going to make one side of that log come out from the fire on an angle, and the second log will come out from underneath our first log. Okay, now we'll draw another oval, our spiral, and our wiggly lines. We'll do the same thing over here. One line coming out from the fire, one line coming out from our log, an oval, and our spiral. Wiggly log lines. Over here, we'll do the same thing. One line coming out from our fire, one line coming out from our log, oval, spiral, wiggly log lines. And our last log coming out from our fire, coming out from our log, oval, spiral, wiggly log lines. All right, now we've drawn our bonfire, so let's talk a little bit about color. So the inside layer is going to be that yellow color. We're going to build out. Sometimes there's even a teeny bit of blue on the bottom. The blue is the hottest part of the fire, so if you wanted to, you could add that. I like to use crayons for this drawing because of the logs. It allows us to get those lines in, and we can control the shading. You could also use colored pencils. Next I'm going to do my orange layer. Add that in. Those wiggly dancing flames coming up. Remember, when we're drawing fire on anything, we can use this same idea. So it's a great technique. We're using both the wiggly lines and we're using color. So two of our elements of art to create something that looks like it's moving. And we've got our red. And then I'm going to add my little ashes. Now for the logs, I like to trace them pretty heavily with my crayon. And then I color really lightly, and that allows me to get that log look. So you can see all the texture of my logs. Trace it. And then color lightly. Now when you get to the background, you can draw any kind of background you like. I ended up drawing some rocks like a fire pit. Maybe it's a little cabin and you have something like that, or you've seen it. I'm going to go ahead and draw my log, color in my logs here. So to do that, I went in with my gray marker, or I'm sorry, my gray crayon, and I drew kind of a half circle of rocks. So I just drew some lumpy circles to make my rocks. You don't have to be perfect because they're rocks. This is kind of a super fun project because nothing has to be perfect. And then I have a rock here. And then I did the same thing behind it to make it look like it was sitting inside of a circle of rocks. So I kind of came around and we put a little angle on them. Lumpy little rocks. And when I colored them in, I made them a little darker at the bottom. Just to make them look more like a rock. And I colored them gray. I ended up coloring the sky black to make it look like nighttime, and I put some grass in the foreground. The foreground is what we see up front here, and I used my peach tone to put the sand in my sand pit here where the fire pit is. In between the rock circle we have sand. And you can keep going. Yours is going to look different from mine. You can see even the difference between the two I made between yesterday and today. They're all going to be different. So I cannot wait to see yours. I hope you have fun with this. And when you finish this, try to see where else you could use this idea of fire. You know, maybe you could use it, like I said, on a tailpipe of a car or a motorcycle. Maybe you could use it on a rocket ship like I did. Or maybe you have some other ideas. Where could we draw fire that would be a safe place that we